Hi, in today's lesson you're going to be learning the difference between the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous. So when should it be I had worked in sales before I graduated, and when should it be I had been working in sales before I graduated? Keep watching and you will find out the difference between these two sentences by the end of the lesson. As you get better at English, you realise that each of these tenses has subtle differences in meaning, and you can show examiners and people you talk to and write to that you have accuracy and understanding of the language. So, a good thing to know, right? Okay, so remember the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous are both used to show an earlier past. So when two actions or events happen in the past perfect simple and continuous refer to the action or event that came first. So what is the difference between them? Firstly, let's remember the form. So we have the past perfect simple is had plus the past participle. In our example, I had worked. Often contracted in spoken English to I'd, you'd, he'd, she'd, the odd sounding it'd, we'd and they'd. Whereas the past perfect continuous is had, been, plus the ing form of the verb. In our example, I had been working. So again, I had is often contracted to I'd, and been is unstressed and often pronounced as been. So I'd been working. Now let's look at the difference in their meaning. There are three reasons why they're used differently. Firstly, we use the past perfect simple with action verbs to emphasize the completion of an event, whereas we use the past perfect continuous to show that the event or action in the past was still continuing. So let's look at some examples. Firstly, the plumber had installed the pipes in the bathroom before he went home. Here we have the past perfect simple, had installed, and it emphasizes the completion of the action. The pipes are installed before he went home. So an earlier past, but a completed earlier past. Whereas if we say the plumber had been installing the pipes in the bathroom when the accident happened, we are using the past perfect continuous to emphasize the continuing or ongoing action of installing the pipes when the accident happened. We are focusing on the activity of installing the pipes. It was an ongoing or continuing action. We use the past perfect simple to refer to the completion of an activity, and the past perfect continuous to focus on the incomplete continuing activity. Secondly, we use the past perfect continuous when we focus on the duration of an activity. So if you said he'd waited an hour for the train before it arrived, here we are using the past perfect simple, he'd waited, but by using the past perfect simple, we are emphasizing the completion of the activity before the train arrived. He is not waiting anymore. It's over. It's complete. Whereas if you say, I'd been waiting an hour for the train before it arrived, we are using the past perfect continuous. So we are focusing and emphasizing the duration of the activity. An hour, that is a long time. And thirdly, we use the past perfect simple to suggest something more permanent than the past perfect continuous, which can imply that something is temporary. For example, if you said, he'd always lived with his parents, this is suggesting that it is a permanent arrangement. Whereas if you said, she'd been living with her parents when she got engaged. By using the past perfect continuous, you are suggesting that this is more temporary. This is a temporary situation. Just a little note about continuous forms. Remember, we don't use continuous forms with stative verbs. That is, verbs that describe a state and not an action. We use the past perfect simple. For example, with verbs like know, like and understand and believe, these are stative verbs. So we'd say, I'd known for a long time that the company was going to close. Here, this is had known, this is the past perfect simple, and not we'd been knowing, the past perfect continuous. And also the senses are stative verbs such as hear, smell and taste. So we'd say we'd tasted the milk and had decided that it was bad, so we threw it away. Here, had tasted is the past perfect simple, and not we'd been tasting the milk, the past perfect continuous. And finally, we don't use the continuous form with actions that are completed at a single point in time, with verbs such as start and stop. So we'd say, had they started the game on time? Had started is the past perfect simple, and not had they been starting the game on time, which is the past perfect continuous. So now we can look again at our two sentences from the beginning of the lesson. Now you should know, when do we say I had worked in sales before I graduated, and when do we say I had been working in sales before I graduated? Write your answer down below in the comment section, and I promise to give you feedback on your answer. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you feel more comfortable in knowing when to use the past perfect simple and when to use the past perfect continuous. Remember to like this video if you found it useful, share it with your friends and colleagues learning English, and remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new English language lessons, and hit the bell so you're notified when new lessons come out. So that's it for today. Take care and see you very soon. Bye bye.